This is our first official YouTube live, and I'm delighted you can join me today. I've been working incredibly hard to get this setup going. Still in the works, but today we're going to focus on Bitcoin. I know all my videos the last week have been on Bitcoin, but it's so important that we pay attention to the master indicator, which is the price of the Bitcoin action. We are going to look at Fibonacci and Elliot wave and making sure we are looking at what is highly probable. Remember, we are in the probability game, not the certainty game. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jagir. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been trading currencies for over 15 years, featured in this best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008. Now I exclusively focus on crypto. So we're going to dive straight into the charts. Now we're going to focus on Bitcoin. Like I said, I need to pause myself on my own YouTube live, just checking that I'm live. And I am. We're going to be, my main focus over the next coming weeks and months is to do a lot more lives and a lot more engagement. I'm not watching your comments today because I'm still getting used to this whole process. The main thing I wanted to do is make sure I get out regular content when it comes to Bitcoin, and timing is going to be absolutely crucial. So if you've been watching my recent updates, we pegged the recent highs of Bitcoin and the correction that happened, but we want to see what is likely to occur from the psychology of buying and selling. So first of all, let's just dive into the daily chart. So if you haven't seen any of the previous content, now what I want to quickly just loop back on, if I just clean this chart up slightly, is back on April 19th. If you go back and see my videos on Bitcoin, what you'll see is we really called this particular top over here, and we anticipated that we're going to get a deep correction, and we did, and we called it up around here, and we had this very deep correction. But typically corrections always happening 3 pretty much clean waves, and we had this first wave, we look like we've had this second wave, and I'm anticipating this third wave down to what I'm calling a wave C of a wave 4, and the bias is still the same. So the key pieces of information, because we need to be like Sherlock Holmes, we're looking for clues to help us read the markets. There is never any certainties, just probabilities. So the first key piece of information, and I've been saying this every video, is in the top left-hand corner is my weekly chart. I've just got it kind of exaggerated the weekly momentum. I use something called a stochastics RSI, and it just measures the momentum of the market. And you'll often find the lows and the highs marry up with the price highs and lows. And that's what we're looking for. And the indicator is clearly bearish, meaning that the blue line and the red line are pointing downwards, but it is in this oversold zone, meaning that we should expect 1, 2, maybe even 3 weeks of sideways to down movement, very, very important. So that's our first clue, right? We still got our Sherlock Holmes hat. What's our second clue? Well, when we're looking at the daily chart again, if I just zoom back in over here, after a wave 3, we're calling this a wave 3, right? And we call this correction. This part of the movement, like we said earlier, is like a first impulsive wave down, and we're calling that a wave A. Then we've got this second wave, which you're calling an ABC. So I'm anticipating that we should get, which is lining up with the momentum on the weekly. And again, it's not guaranteed that we get this third wave. So the first thing that I want to make clear is that there is a piece of information that will tell us if we need to change our opinion of the market. That piece of information is this swing high over here. Let me just draw a nice clean arrow. So this swing high over here, the price of which, the closing price, if I just can quote it to you, if I can move this out of the way first of all, the closing price is 48,300. If we get a break and a close above 48,300 on Bitcoin, then we need to reevaluate, especially if we end up breaking above this point over here. Yeah, then we need to change our opinion. And that's the beauty and the art and the science of Elliot wave. It's not fixed. It's saying this is what the psychology of the market looks like right now with the information that we have at hand. So what am I anticipating? Right, well, we've clearly had, if I just get rid of this, let's just clean this up. This pink box, by the way, is the typical minimum correction that we should expect if we're wrong. This is the if we're wrong zone. So we've had this wave down, we've had this nice correction. We called this as well that we should anticipate further downside. And now we should expect, what I'm seeing is this looks like a wave 1. We should see some type of wave 2, a 3, 4, and a 5 on the way down. That's what we're looking for. So again, just be patient. There's no guarantees in this game because look, a lot of people are asking, should I be buying IDO platforms right now? Should I be buying the dip? Now you could, but I'm waiting for potentially Bitcoin to reach the 32,000 range, the 30,000, 32,000 range, which is more down here. Is it likely? I think so. I think so. There's a few other factors with price and time that I've taken into account, but it's likely and probable. But what will change my mind, again, just reiterating, is if we get a break and a close this point. Until that happens, the bias is to the downside. So it's really just be mindful right now because there's always 3 positions that you can take. There's buying, there's selling, and then there's standing aside, sitting on your hands and being patient for optimal conditions. What I know is that if the market does break below, I'm going to draw it like this crucial point here, this current support zone, if it breaks below this support zone, the next real clear zone is down here. It is this area down here, which is the 32,000, 30,000 range. If that occurs, it's likely the market's going to panic. There's going to be a panic sell-off, and a lot of projects are due for a correction. And we may see everything come down, maybe similar to what we saw in April, May, when we saw this panic sell-off in Bitcoin profit taking. Everything came down 50, 60, 70, 80, some even 90%. So I'm personally of the opinion that we've got a good probability that may occur again. And again, just purely based on psychology of buying and selling and this point over here. So just be patient, and today, if you like today's content, today's a live, but I'm doing it live because I'm still doing the setup. I'm still getting this, hopefully the sound is getting better. I've ordered a new camera, so hopefully that's going to get better. I'm looking to get more interactive with you guys as well, especially in the private Telegram group. For those of you that have bought my course, you're getting some extra content, and I'm going to be inviting you onto this Zoom call so I can do some live Q&A as well, because I really want to help to make sure we're reading the markets the best we possibly can to minimize the downside and maximize our upside. So if you haven't already, do take my free Elliot Wave and Fibonacci Masterclass. It's going to be in the, if you're watching it live, it won't be in the link, but if you're watching the recording later on, it'll be in the link below. And let's just finish on, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I want to finish on a quote. Let me find my book. Here's my book. Let's finish on a quote as usual. And by the way, one of the reasons I'm doing lives is I want to give more urgent information, because especially in sensitive times like now, normally I would record, we'll have an editing process, and the content will go out 1, 2, sometimes 3 days later, sometimes even 4 days later. But now I want to get into the habit of giving it live, and then we can do the repost later on in the same day. All right, let's do chapter 7. Chapter 7. No, let's go for chapter 8. Chapter 8. All right, Henry Ford. This is a great one. Henry Ford. This is my chapter 8. It has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. Now, this is a time that you might be of the same opinion as me, of standing aside and just let's see how Bitcoin plays out and how it impacts the rest of the market. But it doesn't mean you need to be doing nothing. Now it's about sharpening your axe, really honing in your skills, getting your business plan into play. So if the market does unfold as anticipated, that you're ready to pounce on the opportunity, but also to be ready if it doesn't unfold as anticipated, to also reevaluate the market and see what is the best course of action. If you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I am going to do future lives with more interaction. I'm just in the setup process, but I just wanted to make sure I got my 2 p.m. YouTube content out today, and this is the first public live that I'm doing. So thank you for joining me. I will see you soon. Keep up the good work. And now I'm upgrading my software where I get to press stop as well. So I need to stop my streaming. And here we go.